Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Old Oil House. But it's not the regular Old Oil House this time. Welcome to the Old Oil House After Dark Cyberverse Secret Special. We're today joined only with Katsu and our good buddy who's made a lot of cameos. Sai, say hi to everyone.
Sai?
Sai, say fucking hi. Oh my god.
Hello.
Oh, there he
Sorry,
is.
I was eating my apple. I was mid chew when you were introducing me.
We start the podcast and immediately starts eating the apple. He's like, you know what would be a really good idea right now? Let's eat an apple. Like,
I'm gonna start eating immediately. So boys, the bit of this one is we are gonna be talking about Cyberverse, but we did this. We did not tell Dynamez or Hambly what we're doing.
neither of them
So
have
this is just
any
gonna be
idea about this.
Yeah, this is gonna be uploaded and they're not gonna know. So we're gonna hope that you guys can all keep it secret. We're gonna see how long it takes him to figure out that we uploaded this.
I
Yeah,
think he'll
our
notice by
epic-
next week, but
Our epic prank against him is giving him free content.
Yeah, he'll
it's
never know.
still our channel, you know?
yeah, we still. Except this time I have to edit it, so it's gonna look really nice, guys.
Well, our epic prank is doing more work ourselves. I wish we were able to pranks like that on me.
Prank
Yeah,
is making him content.
Epic prank is making like high quality content.
Bro's not gonna be ready for it. Anyway, though, so Transformers Cyberverse. So I think okay. So we're at TFCon, and Mr. Sai here drags us over to Hot Rod's voice actor, right? What is his name? I can't think of off the top of my head.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about not Levi, that's Bumblebee. Travis Arts.
Travis.
Travis
Yeah, that's
Arts,
it.
yeah.
I had seen him.
Really
a
nice guy.
couple-
He was super nice. Love talking to him. But go ahead, Si.
I was gonna say I had spoken to him a couple times. Big fan of his because he just loves the fact that he was Hot Rod. He's so into it. He had all those hot rods on his table.
He was selling
And,
hot rods.
He was selling. He had a bucket of hot rods that he was selling. He didn't sign up or anything. He's like, just take a hot rod. I brought him over to you because earlier I showed him that I got a hot rod, but I didn't have his guns. And he's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to take a break. Maybe I'll find your guns. And when I brought him over to you, he gave me the wrong guns, but it was the spirit that counted. And I really appreciated that from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go over to him, and then Sai's like introducing us and stuff, and then we're talking with him, and so basically we watched the show because Hot Rod told us to.
Yeah.
I had written it off years ago after watching like the first season and just being like, this is okay, but it didn't really pull me in. I've always heard good things about it, but I never really thought about watching it. But then if Hot Rod himself tells you to watch the show, you can't really say
yeah,
no.
you don't have a choice at that. It's like having a gun pointed at your head.
Yeah, but instead of a gun, it's
Instead of a
It's
gun,
funny
it's a flamethrower.
yeah, it's a flamethrower.
It's funny you say that too,
Because
because even he said, you can skip the first season, honestly. He was like,
which is
that.
really
He was
funny.
like,
Yeah.
this might be, he like leaned in and he was like, this might be a little controversial, but honestly, you can just skip the first season. Start at season 2.
Which, truth be told, he's kind of right. I think with that.
He did say
after.
he did say, but watch the episode with Hot Rod and Blur in the first season.
Yeah.
True,
Well, 'cause,
yeah. Watch my episode.
I think season 1 does have a lot of good world building in it, though. I think
Oh,
that
absolutely.
it throws a lot of concepts and characters at you that, while it might not be as interesting there, they come back later and it is interesting. So it's definitely like you should probably sit through it.
I think
It
they're only
wasn't
10
bad.
episodes,
It wasn't
so.
bad. I get that.
Oh yeah, they're
it's-
not even bad. Yeah,
I don't
It's like
get
kind of
the
slower.
It's a tad bit
but-
slower, but I don't get the hate on it because it's really good. It is. I think it ends at a good point where you're like, oh, I'm kind of sick of seeing all this Bumblebee stuff. But then like the next season comes about, and mind you, there's spoilers for the show in this episode. I feel like that was kind of a given. But
Yeah, we're gonna be
here's your
spoiling all of it.
chance to leave now if you haven't watched the
Actually,
show.
okay, wait, hold on. Like but if you haven't seen it, I'm just gonna throw a non-spoiler thing at
Oh
you
yeah,
before you leave for those that leave. So basically, this show was, I think, is the most slept on fucking S tier Transformers content of all time. Like the plot progression is crazy. You get like Bumblebee memory segment, and then it's like you get like a crazy war, and then it turns into Star Trek for a while, then it becomes The Matrix, and Hot Rod is fucking Neo, and Soundwave is Morpheus. I'm not gonna say more. You get fucking, then you get like a MacGuffin hunt and more world building, and then like a crazy multiverse war, and then you have like a Dinobot one, and you get like crazy like what you have Tarn at the end, crazy finale. It's amazing.
Super Starscream is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, you get a bunch of Starscream. You have Starscream's schizo arc. Like,
wait,
it's just there's a lot, and it's all awesome.
All right. I'm gonna say, here's your last chance. Leave now.
Yeah, this is it now.
But I was gonna ask about the Starscream arc. I don't remember there being a point after where he escapes from the. Oh, no. You're never mind. Never mind. He gets caught on the Titan, and then he gets on that. Never mind. I completely forgot about that arc.
Yeah.
Oh, the couple episodes where they're going back to Cybertron.
Yeah, and then he tricks what's the little guy's name?
Teletran X.
Yeah, Teletran X. He tricks him into like letting him out by getting through the vent, gets caught on the Titan, goes to Cybertron, gets turned into the big tentacle monster, and then decides that Cybertron isn't a good place. It is like, yeah.
In his Doomer arc.
He's crazy.
He
does have a Doomer arc.
Yeah, I will say, to preface, I think, like you said, you wrote it off shortly after the show came out. And had you ever heard of it at all, Katsu?
No, not until we were in Baltimore and you're like, here, watch this. Not a single person that I have talked to has mentioned Cyberverse.
Yeah, I think the crux of why Cyberverse is so easy to forget is because it's like designed. Well, they're all designed for kids, but it's designed specifically to get like new people into the show, I think, or new kids, which is why it was like free, short, and especially the first season has a lot of like that fundamental lore in it. Which is awesome because I think even you, when we watched I think we watched the first 8 episodes or something, I think you were like, I actually really appreciate that aspect of it.
Oh yeah. When we were watching it. So mind you, for the people who have probably forgotten, or this is their first episode, I'm a new Transformers fan. I am extremely new to the entirety of it. I've been in it for about 1.5 2 years now, and so this is the first time that I've watched a full Transformers show, because because the thing with Cyberverse is each episode's 10 minutes long, so I'm able to watch each episode on my lunch break. You know, a 20-minute episode is a little cumbersome to watch when you're on a time constraint. So it's like you have a 30-minute lunch break. You don't, spend a third of it or 2/3 of it watching a show, and then by the time you're watching it, you don't even get to watch the full episode. So it's like that 10-minute episodes were like perfect for car rides to work, because I always carpool to work, so I'm always in the passenger seat. So it's like being able to watch the show in the passenger seat on the way to work and actually being able to finish a full episode. It's kind of nice, because then you don't have to remember where you were in the episode if you have to pause it, because usually you just finish it. So that was the nice aspect of it. And it wasn't like super long either. It's only 3 seasons. So, only the 3 seasons makes it not as cumbersome to watch when it comes to like mentally, I guess, for me. It didn't.
Well, like it's only 12 episodes for the first 2 seasons,
yeah.
And the third season is 24 episodes. Yeah. So it's basically like, it's really short.
It's funny. I actually did the math on like all of the episodes and even the 2 specials like combined. I think the entire show is like 11 hours.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Which is like shorter than like Breaking Bad season 2.
Yeah.
So you can watch the whole series in like a week. Which is what I think you guys basically did.
I basically watched it in 2 weeks, because we got back from Baltimore on the 4th of
the 4th
November, and then it's been just about 2 weeks since then. So I I was able to finish it in a decently short amount of time. And like I was trying to say, it's just like this show doesn't, it looks long, but it doesn't feel long, if that makes sense.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I remember when the show was coming out. When it was coming out every week, they posted on YouTube. It felt way longer, but then I would like binge it when the season was over, and I did it in like an afternoon.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Whoa, already?"
Yeah, it takes what? I don't know. It takes
Like,
I mean,
it
yeah,
takes
'cause
like a few
I-
hours
it's-
to do one
Yeah,
season.
like because I watched it in like basically four settings. I watched it like pretty much because I did like I did okay, no, sorry, technically five if you want to include when we were at Baltimore, but otherwise like when I got home, I watched it at work on two very slow nights where I was doing nothing. And then the last two nights, just when I got home from work, I just went, sat down, and watched it for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very quick thing to get through, and it's nice.
It's
Yeah.
really quick to get through. It's really quick to get through, and it adds this, or not adds. Sorry, I messed that up. It really brings anybody, especially if you're new. It brings this. It rounds off things that people will tell you. Somebody will say something about this show. Somebody will say something about this show, and it's like sometimes you won't know what a character is. You won't understand the arc. This show brings me kind of up to speed on the current Transformers lore, or not all of it, but at least for a good portion of it. This seems pretty like a pretty good way to understand Transformers in its base form.
I
was really impressed with that. Yeah,
I was gonna say Cyberverse is almost like the perfect supplemental Transformers material. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like if you watch Cyberverse, you basically get all of the footnotes of like the lore and all the characters. So when you watch something else, you can kind of apply what you've learned to it. Because even remember we watched
Yeah.
it in Baltimore. I had my one friend with me who knew absolutely nothing about, even less than Katsu. Knew absolutely nothing about Transformers. He just came with us just for fun, and even he was like, "Wow, I like this show because I can actually understand it and I get stuff easily and quickly." So
oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, like because when you've been in this shit for so long, I hear all spark a million times over, but like for a new person, they don't. It's kind of like, okay, well, you have to introduce these concepts, and it in terms of like important lore things that exist that this didn't hit. The only two I can actually think of that I feel like this show didn't have that it didn't introduce to is like the idea of the Omega Lock and minicons. Those are the only two like Transformers key phrases I can say that weren't in this show.
Yeah, I mean they weren't
Like-
in the show, but it didn't feel like if
But
they
still.
were in the show, I don't think they would have added a whole lot to it.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. But it's just like I'm saying that as like a compliment of like it really does just hit the nail on the head of like so many concepts.
Yeah.
It's like Titans, here you go, All Spark, here you go, Well of All Sparks, here we go. It just kind of Vector Sigma. It just does a good job at getting all of that info.
Oh
into
my
your
gosh,
head
yes.
in a good manner.
I just recently watched some of season 2. And in that part of the story, Starscream, he has the Allspark and he steals Vector Sigma. And like, if I had to explain Vector Sigma to someone, I don't know how I would do it. But the show is literally just like, it's a computer, use it to program the Allspark to do whatever you want. Like, they did it in one sentence, and I'm like, okay, thank you for saying that. Because I don't know if I could have explained it that easily to someone. So it's very valuable with that.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like that was another one of those concepts that I didn't understand going into this. Well, the Allspark was another one that I didn't really understand because all I had ever seen was the Bayverse movies. And
Yeah.
and the Allspark is like the cube, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's the cube.
And so every time they're like, it's the cube, and then you're like, what's the cube do? And then they don't do a really good job of explaining what the hell the cube is.
Yeah,
And it's
and
like-
like you saw it in the opening of Animated when you watched that, but like you didn't get to any of the nitty gritty with it
Yeah,
either.
I
So
haven't.
it was
I
just a
still need
thing
to
they're
watch
fighting over.
Animated. We should do this every time I finish a show.
I agree. Yeah, we do. We
Yeah,
do a
I'm-
secret old Oil House After Dark
Yeah.
special.
Yeah, but I'm
Oil
glad
House
this is
After
your
Dark. Like,
and I think this is the perfect one to start with because you get that background for all the other ones that you
oh,
would
absolutely.
eventually finish. Yeah, man, I gotta say I remember when you guys were talking about it, you were like, "Oh, Sai, he's basically the Cyberverse expert because he's actually seen the show."
Yeah.
Uh, Man, I will say my history with seeing the show is I watched it when it first came out, and that was because 2018, right? Yeah. That was when I was kind of getting started collecting figures and stuff, and I was like, okay, I want to watch the shows. So I watched like G1 on the Tubi. If anyone knows Tubi, Tubi is the secret platform to watch Transformers. Like all the shows are on there for some
Well,
reason.
I mean, being on God, at this point, the secret platform to watch it on is YouTube
Yeah.
because it's all just on
Oh,
there, and they've also just it's crazy because they've also like got you get Japanese shows. You can get like the Unicron trilogy fully upscaled to 4K 60 FPS.
yeah.
Same thing
Now,
with animated. You
I
know,
I don't know. Even the official Transformers channel is doing all of that now too.
in 2018 though, no, it was Tubi though. That
Yeah.
was like the place to watch it
So I was
in
watching
like
on
2018.
Tubi. So Cyberverse was like the first. This is a new show like that I was getting into, and there was a lot of hype at first because it was gonna be. But then like I feel like the fandom kind of died every time something new came out about it. Like
Well, I don't
it
think
was gonna.
I think the beginning of it, the Bumblebee episodes probably kind of killed it.
It did.
No,
As someone who was there and it died because of that,
No,
yeah,
it's
that's
funny you say
exactly what
that.
it was.
No,
Yeah.
I remember when it was coming out, they were like, new show, and they're like, oh, sweet. And it's like, it's not going to be, it's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be a web series. So like, oh, okay. And it's like, it's also going to be 11 minutes. So like, oh, all right. And like, also, it's only evergreen and non-union voice actors. So no one's returning. And I think every step of that on paper, all the fandom was like, oh, well, maybe I'll give the first episode a chance. And then that first episode came out, and I think that might have that might have killed it for so many people, man.
I think it
I
did
gotta
big
say,
time.
I wasn't exactly hooked on it until like maybe the third or fourth episode because it's like, wait, I want to see what happened to his memories. I want to know what happened. Oh, I wanted to touch on that actually. Was there ever a point where all of a sudden, B gets his voice back? Because from what I remember, he just like appears with his voice again.
Um, it's funny you say that. I was like skimming the wiki to see if I can find any like interesting things under production. But under the description for season 2, it just says that it takes place decades later, which is news to me. I didn't know that much time passed. But it just mentioned that off screen, Bumblebee got his memories and was restored by Ratchet. So
Oh,
they just
okay.
off screen that. And thank God I
Which is
did not want to
valid.
deal with more of
I did not want to see any more of Bumblebee without his freaking
Yeah.
voice box.
Voice.
That was so annoying.
On the topic of wiki skimming and that I found out something kind of cool. So you were talking about voice actor reprisals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something I think is really interesting. The Japanese dub of it was actually they got Optimus Primal and Megatron from Beast Wars, their Japanese actors, to reprise as Optimus and Megatron, and a lot of the cast is Japanese Beast Wars actors, and it leans really heavy into comedy. That's one of the things that Beast Wars' Japanese dub did, is they turned Beast Wars into a comedy.
Oh yeah.
And they
yeah.
tried doing the same thing with Cyberverse, which I think is kind of funny.
So is
Oh,
the
man.
dubbing just like completely different from the American version?
It's very
yes,
different.
yeah.
It's they add in as many jokes and silly remarks as they possibly can.
Even like sometimes lore and characterization is just totally different.
Oh yeah, they change everything.
Yeah.
You'll have it can be as simple as gender swaps to just like entire character arcs destroyed.
Yeah.
Like that happens a lot.
It's a bit
It's
it's a
crazy
bit of a
that
tangent,
you can do
but yeah.
that. It's crazy that you're able to do that without changing the video.
I know, right? And that's one of the things though. That's and that's one of the things I always talk about with Armada and Energon is just how different they are in Japanese. Like it's truly insane. The visuals are exactly the same,
Oh,
but the
man.
story is completely different.
Katsu, are you familiar with like YouTube abridged anime series?
Mm-mm.
Okay, but basically what that is people will take anime episodes and they'll just dub over them with their own voice clips and they'll edit it up and they'll make it something stupid and silly.
Oh yeah.
And that- yeah, okay,
Wouldn't-
that's basically what
Convoy,
the Japanese dub is.
Convoy,
to,
what's that
to
one
regular
episode
shows.
or what's that one show that we watch? Like horror anime or whatever.
Oh, Ghost Stories.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kinda
yeah,
like
that's
Yeah,
that.
like that.
It's
Ghost Stories
basically
is a
that.
perfect example.
It's literally
yeah.
that, yeah.
It's so funny. Ghost Stories is
So
so funny.
basically, so Beast Wars is like they ghost storied it when they imported it. Like that's what they did to it.
That's really funny.
Yeah. But actually, speaking of voice actors, I will say that was one of the most controversial aspects that I remember of this show was all of these new non-union voice actors. Everyone was like, they all suck. They all suck. They're annoying. They're not cool, and that's just wrong. That's objectively wrong. I think the only person you could say is like not great is Optimus. I
Yeah,
I would
think,
agree.
but
Yeah,
even
he's
him,
the one that
I got
felt kind of
used to
off.
pretty quickly.
I
To be
got
I got
honest.
I
used
got
to him,
used to him, but I
but
never loved it. You know, I never loved his
yeah,
voice
that's the
acting.
thing.
It didn't have the
A lot
heart
of
behind it.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I gotta say,
Yeah,
I would
I
agree with
really
that.
liked Hot Rod's voice actor. I liked Bumblebee's voice actor a lot. I liked Windblade.
Shockwave. Oh my
Shockwave was
god, he sounds
Shockwave's
awesome.
so
great.
cool. He
Soundwave
sounds
sounded
so
good.
cool.
Soundwave sounded great too. Um,
I like Megatron a lot as well.
oh yeah, me too.
Oh, he
I
gets
He's
a
got
lot better
he has
later on
so
too.
much. He's got so much like grovel. It's
yeah.
crazy. Like I don't know how he like.
I don't.
He gets those
Yeah.
like it's crazy.
He's got this. It's just so gravelly and
Like I don't know how he
I
does it,
don't
but
know
it's
how
it's
he does
impressive.
it. It's
Wicked
super
voice.
impressive. I was gonna mention that about Megatron. Did he show up in the last episode at all?
The last
No,
special.
I think he died.
Did
I'm not
he?
sure though.
I don't know.
Maybe because that was actually one of my things I was going to talk about was I wasn't sure where Megatron was in the specials, and
Well, because he was
the
he
last
was
thing we
in the-
see is him getting wounded really badly.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because
No,
it's like
because
he
he
gets
was
hit with the hand blast.
He was
right?
in the special.
Where?
On the first special with the Dinobots.
Where? Where was he?
He was doing the peace treaty signing.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't up there. It was Soundwave, Shadow Striker,
Was it?
and yeah,
I swear to God, he was up
Megatron.
there.
No, because that was something I took note of. I was like, why isn't Megatron there?
Hang on.
That was something that
I'm
I
gonna
was
look
really
at this now because you got me on.
unsure about. Yeah, because no, he was not. He was not in that special. I can confirm that because I was looking for him because he's. I want to say this version of Megatron I think is one of my favorite like redos of him. I think he's really cool. I love his characterization. His season 3 design is the coolest shit I've ever seen.
You were posting clips of Megatron earlier. Yeah.
No, he's getting an edit. Like I am gonna glaze that design. I need to force Trout to make me an upgrade kit for the deluxe to turn him into that design. Like I cannot like put into words how much I love that design. Like with the fucked up eye, he's got the little like the circle on the inside, then like the weird big arm, and like he's just all fucked up. It's just really cool.
Oh, this brings up a good.
Oh, like TF Wiki says he's fucking dead.
TF Wiki says he's dead. Well, it's got to be true then.
Oh,
TF
yeah,
Wiki
he's
says
not there.
Megatron's last words were an encouragement towards Optimus to defeat his alternate self. So that was his death.
Oh, did he die in that? Oh, okay. So that.
So
battle
he
was
died
his
from
death.
that hand blast.
Oh shoot! I guess I never thought of that because he gets hand blasted all the time. But I guess that was a pretty big one.
Yeah, no, yeah, I get. Yeah, I mean, it was right in his fucking spark. Yeah, no, because the Matrix was kind of keeping him alive. Then Megatron actually ripped the Matrix out of him.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Oh, okay. He destroys
You're-
it too,
yeah.
doesn't he? The Matrix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no,
Windblade
Windblade
technically does,
destroys it.
But still,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
it's-
it's Optimus B, Windblade, and Hot Rod, and then there's Soundwave, Skybite. The big purple guy. I don't know who the hell that is. And then
Astro Train.
no,
Purple
it's
guy.
not Astro Train. Astro Train's gone. Who the hell is
Big
that?
purple guy.
I'll put it.
Clobber?
No, it's definitely not Clobber. I know that.
Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, I love Clobber.
Clobber was
Clobber's
pretty good.
amazing. She's wonderful. She's one of my favorite characters out of the show, I think.
Clobber, yeah, dude. I hate randomly in season 2 when Clobber shows up.
There you go. I
and
put it in
everyone-
Discord.
Everyone's like,
Oh, Striker.
oh yeah, Striker. Beast Machine's representation, by the way, epic.
Only good Beast Machines representation that could
But-
possibly happen.
I was
yeah.
gonna say a good point is something else that's controversial about this show is characterizations. I think most famously, nobody liked Grimlock.
That's
when he,
wild to me.
when he
What?
showed up. Yeah,
No.
He's
nobody
the wonderful
liked
No
Grimlock.
highlight of the
shot.
show.
That
Like-
the first episode that Grimlock was in, I was like, oh my god, I love Grimlock. You know,
I think it was
That's
because
so
I
funny.
agree.
leading into it, they described him as like a Hulk-like character. Like He's got like a Bruce Banner, and then the Dinobot's kind of like the Hulk side, the more traditional Grimlock side, and I think nobody liked that. I remember seeing people complain
My
constantly, like, "Oh, why does he sound like that? Why is he talking like that? Grimlock's supposed to be a doofus, but
I
he
was
is
gonna say
still a
the
doofus,
only
just a flamboyant one."
he, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say my only one that I didn't like out of any of the characterizations was Jetfire. I did not like Jetfire, and
Jetfire
I'm
was a
used
little
to.
weird.
I don't know. I did not. I did not fuck with that. I am used to Jetfire either being like he's basically always just the coolest fucking guy in the room, or he is like tragic, ex-scientist guy fighting,
Yeah,
a
they
war he doesn't want to be in. He's usually one of those. And like and even when
Yeah.
he is that tragic scientist, he's still the coolest guy in the room.
I say two of them.
And
Say the most
I don't
famous
know.
aspect of him was a he was a Decepticon at some point, which they usually work in there. Which I don't think they did that at all in this
Which
show.
I'm okay without that, but when he's not being that, I'm like I'm looking for like an Armada style Jetfire. You know what I mean? Like where he's like just the coolest fucking guy. You know?
they
That's
I'm surprised they also
or like
didn't.
silly Australian.
I'm
I
surprised
don't
they
know.
also didn't go into a past with him in Starscream, which is another thing he's very famous for.
There is actually a line
Yeah.
that alludes to that.
There's one line, and I think
Yeah.
his first episode, I think, with
Yeah,
Skybite. He has
Yeah.
the
more of a
first
history with Skybite in the show than Starscream for some reason.
it's the first
Yeah.
episode
I
that
don't know.
he's here
I don't
because
hate
it's the first episode that he's here because Starscream is the one that like kind of brings him back, I guess, right?
well, like he's following Skybite there, and then Skybite shows up, and then Starscream tricks them both because he's like, "Yo, yeah, this guy's here. Hold on here. I'll help you out, man. I'm sorry you're in this situation. Here's some crazy Allspark armor,
Yeah.
to make them kill
Oh
each other,
yeah,
Right,
distract
right, right,
everybody."
right.
and they fight in the
Yeah,
Coliseum, which
yeah, and I guess like Jetfire being like an arrogant person like that, and just kind of not caring about anyone else, and only it just like it felt so distant from what I'm used to that I didn't like it.
it's rough because I think it fits Skybite, but then it kind of
Oh, I
it
agree.
dragged Jetfire down, which
I
it's not a
agree.
fan of. But
I think there were other characters that could have maybe inserted there. But I don't know. That was my one qualm. That was my one character I did not like
yeah,
the new version of.
Katsu, were there any certain characters that you specifically latched onto or disliked?
Um, well, Hot Rod, of course.
Yeah, he's awesome.
As we all know. I really liked Windblade in this.
Yeah.
I was never a fan of Shockwave until I watched this, which I'm sure if I watched any other form of Transformers, I would probably be a fan of Shockwave. But just like, and also, oh shoot, Wheeljack. I was never like a huge fan of Wheeljack. I just kind of liked his car mode in a couple like toys that I have. So like that's why I liked him. But that because I didn't know the lore behind Wheeljack at the time. Now I know the lore behind Wheeljack and Shockwave. They're like the smart guys. And they're just like the coolest freaking characters in the show. And the way that Shockwave freaking just like sacrifices himself.
Dude, that's crazy. He literally killed himself to try to blow up the Allspark. Like, that's fucking metal as shit.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
he's
definitely.
crazy. He's fucking
A
crazy.
very
Yeah.
underrated version of Shockwave, I will say. Shockwave people usually are fans of Shockwave in the media he appears in. This is definitely the most underrated version, I gotta say.
Yeah.
I think for real, I always end up fucking God, dude. It's like my two favorite versions of him now are this one and then Shock Blast and Energon. Like I like the
Where
two
he's
underdog
crazy,
ones.
where he's insane.
Dude, he is a such a lovable, complete psychopath to watch. I love him so
Oh
much.
man,
Energon.
I am really glad you mentioned Wheeljack. This might be, I don't know. I think it's the best Wheeljack they've done.
Agree.
He gets to be the crazy mad scientist. He gets
Not
his
like
dumb
Pablo.
mustache. It's awesome. Way better than
Like
Pablo. For sure.
Like,
Yeah, I think
Not a
anything's
fucking
better than Pablo.
Volkswagen Plus. I don't know
Anything's
what they
better
were
than
doing
Pablo.
there, man.
I swear to God, there's no way that like I in my head canon Pablo is Beachcomber, and that's how it's gonna stay. Like that's my fan theory that I've heard that tossed around, and I agree with it.
That's fair.
Oh man. So there weren't
he
any
was
characters that
awesome.
you like hated, I guess.
Nobody that I
Not hated, but
inherently
disliked.
hated. I'm trying to think. Skybite really wasn't my favorite. Neither was Jetfire. They were both just kind of like, I don't know. They feel like they were just shoehorned in at a weird time to me.
I sort of agree. Skybite, I don't mind him, but he just feels like a very watered down, less, not as entertaining version of his Rido one self.
Okay.
I still like him, but at least to me, like, I don't know. A lot of the jokes that they try to make with him, I don't think land. And they're very similar jokes to what they do in Rid. You know, like Skybite will be reciting stupid fucking poetry. And like one of my favorite clips is like there's a bit where it's like he's on like an oil platform with Optimus, and he's like he recites some poem at him, and Optimus is like, "You might do better with limericks. Your imagery is derivative, and you lack semiotic cohesion." And he's like, "What?" And then Optimus tackles him. Like, it's really fucking funny.
Wait, what is that in?
Rid 01.
Rid 2001.
Yeah. I think Skybite suffers from being like a reference. Like his whole character is basically just a reference to another Skybite. So I don't know,
but it doesn't hit as hard at all, I think.
Yeah.
Oh man,
but I don't mind him still. I can't hate Skybite.
You know a sleeper character that really got me?
What's that?
This is gonna sound like nonsense. I think he shows up because I looked him up on the wiki. He shows up in 2 episodes. It's the episode where the Ark first leaves Earth. You know, when they have that decoy with the shuttles to bring and then the next episode where they have a party that's messed up by Starscream. One of the pilots of the shuttles is a red, like generic looking Autobot. He's like red with green windows and eyes. Mm-hmm. His name is Red 1. Or Red 5, I'm sorry, Red 5. And
what the Red 40 Autobot?
No, dude, so I looked him up. He only exists for like a Star Wars reference because Red 5 was Luke Skywalker's call sign.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So he only exists for one joke where they're all saying like Bumblebee here, Windblade here, Grimlock here, and then he's just like Red 5 on standby. Like he exists for that one joke, and like I don't know, I latched onto him, and then 30 seconds later he blows up, and I'm like, no! I was genuinely like, no!
Dude. So this show, you know, with that, because that scene, I know the scene you're talking about, they just sometimes kill people out of nowhere. Right?
Oh, like,
and so when that scene was happening, it was like, because they just got me with Slipstream.
Oh my god,
getting stabbed to the chest by bludgeon. That was crazy.
Oh,
and then that was a crazy ass death. I wasn't ready for that.
Slipstream and underrated in this show also.
Oh no, for real. I went and immediately bought the toy for as fast as I could. But like, so that got me. I was like, oh shit, the stakes are getting real. So like, when they started blowing people up in space, I was like, this is crazy. Wait, are they actually gonna be dead? And then like Prowl exploded. I was like, oh my god, did they just kill Prowl? Yeah. I knew there was no way to kill like, but Prowl felt real. And then like I think Bumblebee's in one of them. I was like, okay, they're not gonna kill him. If he blows up, it's not real.
Yeah,
and he blew up and it wasn't real. I was like, okay, we're good. But no, the death in this show is kind of crazy. Like they throw them at you every so often, and they're pretty real. I don't know. I think they're very well done deaths.
And they do carry meaning. Like you just said, Slipstream. A couple episodes later, I think it's the one where Shockwave kidnaps Wheeljack. Windblade, like of clandestinely of her own accord, just shows up and she's like, Bludgeon, I'm gonna freaking kill you because you killed Slipstream, who's like the only Decepticon who like went to us for help and tried to help both sides, and you just killed her for no reason. And like she wanted revenge, and I'm like, okay, it actually carried over, and Windblade took it seriously.
Yeah, and she keeps and the thing is, she keeps going through that too. Like she has another showdown with him that eventually kicks him into unspace or whatever.
That was the character that I hated. I hated Bludgeon so much.
So why didn't you like Bludgeon?
Because of what he did. He was just like, he was one of those characters where he looked cool, but then he just didn't say anything and killed people, and it like pissed me off. You know,
that's interesting. Okay, so you hate him, but it's because like he was
a good villain,
at the role he had. You know,
You know, I hated him because the show wanted me to hate him. You know.
Yeah, okay.
That's good.
That makes sense.
And I will say, for anyone wondering, if you don't care, like a lot of people don't really care about Windblade. I think the most impact she's had is like in the comic books. I would say this show makes you care about Windblade. I
agree. This show made me like her.
After this show, she's like one of my favorites. Which you tell, oh, my favorite's Windblade. They're like, oh, really? I'm like, no, dude, watch Cyberverse. It's true. She's cool. I have her legacy toy. It's pretty cool.
I also got one.
Oh yeah,
I'm probably going to purchase one.
that's another sad thing. The Cyberverse toy line, very
Yeah,
yeah.
brief sidetrack onto that for a minute.
It's so
What a
sad.
tragic state of things that I'm still going to buy because I love the show so much. Like, it's just like, man, the deluxes look all right, but and there's a couple bangers in like the ultra class. Like I've heard Clobber's pretty good. I've heard good things about Rack and Ruin, but like, man, everything else just looks like garbage. And even at that, the stuff that's good is only good by proxy of it being a Cyberverse toy. It wouldn't be good in any other situation. It's
Yeah.
just like as
Yeah.
good as you're gonna get, and that's just unfortunate. And I like the legacy outings. I'm glad they did it. Like I said, I went and bought Slipstream as fast as I fucking could. Um, love her, but it's like even with that though, the legacy outings, they're doing the chug thing where they make the thing, but it's intentionally inaccurate in a bunch of spots because it's trying to fit a stupid fucking unified art style. So it's like it's Slipstream in air quotes. You get Windblade in air quotes. Like it's
They did slip.
they walk
They did
something
Shadow Striker. It's just a
that
repaint.
as well.
It's a
Yeah,
redo of Sidebird. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
She also looks okay.
and they did
And
weird. Chromia also.
Tarn as well.
They did a lot of the female cast. No, it's kind of odd. Not that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
But
they've like every woman actually, like all of the cool ones I think have been produced. Maybe like they can make Girl Cosmos or something.
yeah. Granted, Cyberverse for a point in its favor, definitely the most female representation of any Transformer show. I think. Right.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
And they're all I think it's good changes as well. I think they're ones that fit really well. Like I was a fan of like all of them. I really liked Swoop. Swoop was one of the ones that
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
was
They
I was
are.
I
They're
was
female
very
too.
here for Girl Swoop. I think she was really cool.
Which one is Swoop?
The pterodactyl.
The
Oh, in
pterodactyl.
the okay, yeah, in the specials.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the special, yeah.
Yeah.
The Dinobot.
Yeah, I liked that. I've never really had a whole lot of experience with the Dinobots, the Dinobot gang, but I was talking to Convoy about it after, and he was like, I cannot stand the Dinobots, but I kind of liked them in this version. I was like, Sludge is kind of charming. I liked Sludge a little bit.
Most of the time I'm just sick of all of them. I like Grimlock on his own, but the other ones I'm just like, ugh.
I guess because they're
Why?
all
They're all just
they're all the same thing where they're all stupid. I guess.
yeah, they're all just dumbasses, and they don't have any charm, and they just like lumber around and destroy shit, and actively are a nuisance. They're cool in Fall of Cybertron, but you don't get enough of them, I think. And then otherwise, they're just always a fucking nuisance, so they don't speak in the Bay movies. Like, I don't know, I don't like them at all. And this show, like, I'm still not the craziest. I don't think the dumbass archetype is just my favorite, but
I just it makes sense for dinosaurs to be kind of fucking dumb.
well, it's like the thing is like okay, in like G1, right? Wheeljack builds them and then makes them stupid on purpose because they are based on dinosaurs. And then it's actively a problem and they blow up the arc basically. Twice. And it's
I
like
didn't know about that.
yeah, so and I just think that is like the dumbest shit ever. Like I get Wheeljack like okay, this is one thing on the Wheeljack thing. G1, bro is actively a nuisance. Like half of the shit he makes goes horribly wrong
Or it's
falls
evil.
in the hands of enemy
Yeah.
and it ruins their day. In this show, he actually feels like a military asset to the Autobots. Like he is actually
yeah.
there to do something more than, because he still makes his stupid fucking gizmos, but he's also like out here like, he's like, he's making these crazy shield systems and weapons and like, he's doing stuff that actually matters in addition to the dumb shit every so often.
Yeah, I guess the worst thing he does is cause maybe an errant explosion, right? But like in
Well,
G1, he like actually makes a weapon.
And he does accidentally
against
get
them.
everyone hacked by by Starscream
Yeah, I
in
was
that
just
one
about to
episode, but
say.
the Allspark.
Okay,
things,
well,
he has a couple flubs, but it's like it's a reasonable amount because the rest of the time he is saving everyone's ass. Like, it's good.
One of my
Oh, yeah.
favorite
And-
episodes in what was it, season 2, is when Starscream is or not Starscream, sorry, Wheeljack is captured by Shockwave, and then
that's a good one.
then Shockwave's like hand or left hand, watch him, and then he's like ranch, give me that screwdriver. Plasma pistol, and it just like throws them the plasma.
Yeah, throws up the gun.
Yeah.
Oh no, that one's awesome too because when he figures, because like Shockwave had threatened to harm a captured Bumblebee if Wheeljack didn't help him, and then Wheeljack discovers it's actually a hologram, and he does the awesome thing where he just changes it to a hologram of himself.
Oh yeah,
So when
yeah.
So when Shockwave
Yeah.
comes back, he's like, "Oh, I've had a rough day," and then Wheeljack's like, "Yeah, really? That sucks." And he's like, "Yeah, but we're gonna get this finished." And then he keeps repeating himself, and Shockwave's like, "Oh shoot, I've been got, I've been fooled."
I've
That
been
is a good one.
fooled.
You know, I want to say on holograms, they really crutch on holograms there for a little bit in season 2. Like, I was thinking like the bit where they holographically blow up the space bridge
Oh,
and the
yeah.
Autobots don't notice, and then like they undo it. I'm like, guy, there's no way that this tech hasn't been being used for like a millennia in this war by now. You would think that everyone would be so paranoid they'd double check everything by now. Like,
That's so funny. You know what that makes me think of? It's like in like Star Trek, for example. I think there's an episode where during a battle they make a duplicate of themselves, like of the ship, and then it gets blown up or whatever. But the bad guy discovers the ruse because they scan for like physical matter, and they're like, "Wait a minute, there's no matter here. It was a trick." All I was thinking was, dang, what if the Ark, like, I don't know, they look behind themselves for like 5 more seconds? They would have
I know,
seen,
right?
or did it, or had any kinds of scans? They talk about scans all the time on the Ark. I'm like, can they not have a radar or something? Like something's
Yeah,
physically
like
there.
like we detected an Autobot symbol or a Decepticon signal on this planet.
Yeah,
like-
Could you not
It's
detect
like you
that the
can't
space bridge is still there?
detect that there's like a big ass piece of metal in front of you.
the space bridge must be so humongous too, because the Ark looks like tiny when it goes into it, and the Ark must be huge too because it houses like 100 Autobots or whatever.
And it was the size, like in a volcano, and it was the size of a volcano, you know?
Yeah, like it's as big as the base of a mountain.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a,
that ship is huge.
it's so funny, dude. It's so funny because I remember in
This-
season 1, Teletran X is like, oh, the Ark, it has a crew of like 250. Like he says it for like what's like 250. So how many Autobots are on that thing? I don't. The stasis room has like a ton of stasis pods, but like I never thought
Yeah.
about like how many freaking
It's a
Autobots are
lot.
here.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of guys.
My favorite part is when he's like, not crew. He kept saying that to Windblade.
Oh yeah.
And he like doesn't mention it for after they make it back to Cybertron. He doesn't mention it until the last special. He says it one more time, and I'm like, I'm totally using that as a bit. I don't
man.
know
Wasn't
I don't
that
know
fair?
where I'm gonna use it, but there's gonna be some bit where I'm just gonna say something insulting and be like, not crew after it.
Dude, shout out Teletran X. Honestly, making
That's a good one.
Teletran a character, very sick. I enjoyed him very much
I liked that as well.
because
We're 40 minutes in. I need to jump to something here.
Okay.
right?
Okay.
oh yeah,
I gotta glaze the actual fuck out of season 3's opening arc.
Oh my god,
Um,
I've been wanting to talk about
It's
this.
Oh, I don't know
so
why I'm not thinking about that.
fucking Cool. It is insane. Like I just figured it was like saving the best for near the end. You know, like Hot Rod is the best.
Oh my god.
Like
Well,
I
it's like they
dude, like
some reason the arc of like Hot Rod, just because he fell into the toxic sludge of Energon. I almost said Ultron.
which by the way, with that, I just want to say that scene where it's like Drift doing it, right? I think that was a crazy subversion of expectations, because usually in Transformers, Drift starts off as Deadlock, a Decepticon, then becomes an Autobot, and he becomes Drift.
Yeah.
So but they did a triple this time, because they show Deadlock, then he's Drift, and then he goes back to being a Decepticon.
That was crazy, actually. I can't believe they've never done that in something else. It's very,
Yeah, that was
it's
that was
pretty
cool.
interesting.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
But
sorry, go ahead.
Either way, that little part where, you know, he gets dragged down into the sludge, so he is like one of the only ones who isn't dead, or not dead, but in the simulation. And then him in who was it? Why can't I think of her name?
Clobber?
Clobber, yeah. Him and Clobber are the ones trying to get everyone out of the simulation, and it's just like, something about that concept of everybody being in a simulation but you are in this weird dystopian, like awful place, and you're trying to get help to like make it right again.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally the Matrix.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
It is so cool. And in the whole, I love the concept of having to transform to get out of it. Also,
yeah,
that was so cool because it's
a
not
very
like
clever use of the being Transformers at all.
Yeah, it's like instead of being able to instead of having the whole thing of oh, let's just take everybody's helmets off or their VR goggles off, it's like, no, we can just have them transform, or they have to transform. We can't have them transform because not transform. Because if they don't, and we just take it off of them, like you see with Soundwave, who gets the mask ripped off of him, he has issues, and they're not good issues. It's not until like the doctor figure, the weird frickin' scientist,
the quintesson scientist guy.
Yeah, they or he fixes him, but it's like, and also that I'm glad they did that with one of the characters because at first you're like, why can't they just, rip the things off of them? They're all standing there. And so they actually do it. And then you're like, oh, yeah, that's not good.
They also retroactively killed off Hound off screen by saying that he was taken out of it like that. And then he fucking died.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
That actually reminded me how little Hound was in it. Not that he's like a favorite character or whatever.
I don't even think did he even have his own model? Was he ever even in anything like doing?
Maybe
anything?
not, dude. But I do like.
But still, like he's a named character. That's a G1 big shot.
Yeah.
They just killed in an offhand piece of dialogue.
I think that's why it got me. Oh man, Hot Rod and his like little freedom fighters, I guess which we would call it. That stuff was so sick.
That little squad is just so good.
Who's on this? It's like him, Clobber, Dead End.
It's Hot Rod, Clobber, Dead End, Perceptor, and Soundwave.
Oh my god, dude! That I don't know how they came to that combination of
and
characters.
And kind of McAdam.
I don't know how they came to that combination of characters, but it's so sick.
I love Hot Rod and Soundwave. I love how they go from like butting heads and Soundwave is literally trying to kill him to them being buddies.
Yeah,
like. That little bit at the end of that arc where they have that final fist bump was like, just like, it was like, fuck yeah.
I wanted that to never end.
Yeah, I know. They could have made the whole season just that arc, and I would have loved it.
That season could have been the rest of my life, and I would have been happy.
Really?
Like I would have been happy. I would have been happy if they had to go in and manually transform every person. Or every character.
Yeah, I could have watched that for so long.
I could have watched every episode of, okay, this episode we're going to get Bumblebee out. The next episode we're going to get Windblade out. The next episode we're going to get Optimus. It's like
250 Cybertronians later.
I could have watched every single one of them.
Oh man, now I knew once you had decided like Katsu, when you were like, you know what, I might as well just watch all of it. At least to get to the hot, and you said at least to get to the Hot Rod bit, which was funny because when we talked to Travis Arts, he's like, "Oh, you got to make it to season 3 because that's my arc or whatever."
Yeah,
you got to see it, and you were like, "Oh, maybe I'll do it at least to get to the Hot Rod stuff, or maybe I'll only watch the Hot Rod stuff." But I'm glad you watched all of it. I hope it lived up to your expectations because you were kind of glazing the.
It surpassed it. It surpassed it a lot.
This blew my expectations out of the fucking water.
Absolutely. Dude. Oh my god! In the design and of Hot Rod and the black Hot Rod is so cool. And Travis Arts changes his voice a little bit for the black Hot Rod to be a little bit more.
Yeah, he goes a
little bit more raspy with it. And he sounds really
like Keanu Reeves almost. Like
it's really
he's trying
cool.
to do like a Neo impression as Hot Rod or something.
It's really cool, and I really fuck with it.
Oh man, dude.
I wish that they did the deluxe class in black. That is my current I'm gonna lose sleep over this.
They need to bring it back. They need to bring Black Hot Rod. Oh wait, I think the official Stealth Force Hot Rod. That's what it's called. I think that's the official.
There is a warrior, but
yeah, I think the official name they call it Stealth Force Hot Rod.
Yeah, and it's like, and it sucks. There actually was. What's funny about that? I was looking into redecos of that toy, and I just want to share because I think it's strange. Weird. Barely released Earthspark Prowl in the US. There is a police deco of Cyberverse Hot Rod.
Oh.
But as
and
Prowl?
it's very, very. I was not ready for it, but I kind of want one now. I think it looks pretty fucking cool.
No, I will say after in
Send that
more
in the
recent
Discord. I want to see
years.
that.
Sure.
Oh yeah, in more recent years, I will say people have warmed up to Cyberverse a lot, and specifically, Hot Rod and that little arc. I see a lot of like digibashes online of like just Hot Rod toys colored black. Uh, oh man,
There's a G1 e hobby one in black, and I wanted that prior to watching this show, and now I want it even more. Like,
oh
because
man,
now I have headcanon for it.
maybe just when Hot Rod's the main character.
Oh, interesting.
Oh wow,
I dropped the images of it.
that's
I think
funny
it looks
because
really cool.
it has his like toy legs and still and everything.
Yeah, they didn't change any tooling on it.
Wow. Oh no, I was gonna say oh shoot, what was I gonna say? I just forgot. Oh yeah, I think it's a meme at this point that when you make Hot Rod the protagonist, all of a sudden it's just better. Like the '86 movie rocks, that arc of Cyberverse rocks.
Real.
When he becomes the captain of the Lost Light in the comics, it's awesome. Like Hot Rod
The
has the
segment
sauce,
Energon
dude.
also just goes fucking crazy.
Oh my
Like,
God. Speaking of that, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Speaking
ahead.
of that, um, the very end of the second special, Optimus turns around. He's like, I don't know. I think you guys are ready to be the leaders now. And I'm like, yeah, you know. I was like, yes, I need this.
Dude, I when the season 3 was first coming out, and like when I was watching the Quintesson invasion arc, like as was happening, right? I had a theory that like he'd find Optimus and like he'd have to temporarily take the Matrix, and we'd get like Rodimus for a little bit. Can you imagine if we got like
that
Rodimus
could
for a
have been
little
pretty
bit?
cool.
That'd be
I was
insane.
like, I was like slightly hoping for that, you know, like finding Optimus and just opening his chest and stealing it, you know.
I was thinking maybe the last special they do that thing they do in the IDW comics where Optimus splits the Matrix in half and gives half of it to Bumblebee and half of it to Hot Rod. I was hoping they do something like that and they can be both leaders.
That could have been cool. I would have
But
liked that. I think it would have been cool if he handed it off to Rodimus. Honestly, after that, because like, and Rodimus did, or sorry, I keep saying Rodimus, sorry, Hot Rod. Like, I mean, bro really did lock in and save everybody like twice.
Yeah.
Like, he did it once in that Quintesson arc, and then like in that the whole Tarn bit, he's the one that kind of gets the gang all together.
Yeah.
Like.
And
Like, bro is definitely
seeing
competent.
that one last time where like Soundwave and him had like that eye contact and they're like, yeah, we're bros, you know?
Yeah.
man, I would say that especially when did that come out? 2020 or 2019? The third season, I don't remember. That solidified Hot Rod as one of my favorites characters, just in general. Was this show
Solid.
because I don't think I even saw the '86 movie until later, to be honest.
This show just shot him to near the top of my Autobot rankings. Like, that's for sure.
Oh,
He's
dude.
up there with the big shots now to me.
Speaking of rankings, I remember when you shared your tier list of like Transformers media, and like
Oh yeah,
Cyberverse is in like
I
the
upped
top 10.
Cyberverse. I upped it even more.
Where is it at now?
Let me take a look. Where did I put it at? I think I put it at.
I felt
I
really,
think it was like.
I felt a lot of joy because I knew that like 3 weeks before that you like did not care, and now all of a sudden it's like top 10. I'm like, oh my gosh, they like
It's
it.
kind of fire, man.
Kind of. It
Wait,
is
all
fun.
right. It's kind of crazy.
It's sick.
Let's see. Fuck, where did I? Okay, here it is. Let's see. I put it as number 6 now.
Oh shoot.
You
Wow.
mind reading off what's above that real quick?
Oh, okay.
So number 1 is Armada / Micron Densetsu. Number 2 is Energon / Superlink. 3 is Victory. 4 is Animated. 5 is TF1, and then 6 is Cyberverse.
Okay. Okay. I can respect that.
That's very respectable. Yeah.
Speaking of tier lists, next week, the regular gang will be back together and we're going to be doing a tier list. So tune in for that episode.
No man. I don't want you to spoil it, of course, but I imagine, just in a general sense, this is the piece of Transformers media that you like finished, right? The first one for you,
Yeah,
Katsu?
this is the only real Transformers media other than the movies. that I've actually
You
finished.
watched, I mean,
I've
yeah,
watched
because you've seen like
I've watched every movie.
and yeah, including 86.
Yeah, including 86.
So the 86 movie is the only good piece of Transformers
Yes.
movie you've ever seen.
Besides this. And
Yeah.
TF1.
Oh yeah, TF1.
We can glaze TF1. Oh,
I always
obligatory-
in my mind, TF1 is so good. I don't loop it in with the other movies.
obligatory Blockies reference. I cannot
Oh yeah,
wait.
right.
Oh, man.
Show mandated Blockies reference. Blockies Cyberverse? Are we dropping those sometime?
Oh,
Come on,
dude.
Like,
Dude, that would
give
go
anything.
crazy. I would go like legless for that. I would learn how to walk on prosthetics for that.
As we know,
crazy.
every Transformers eventually they got to return to the well. We just got to wait for them to return to the Cyberverse well some more.
I hope so.
I can't wait.
40 years from now.
They'll return. Man,
When they make a good Hot Rod figure, there'll be like not studio series. What am I thinking of? Dude, what is going on right now?
What?
What am I thinking
I
of?
just want black Cyberverse Hot Rod Deluxe. Drop it now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill.
oh man. I was thinking, you guys heard those, like, there are those rumors at Paramount that, like, they're discussing with Josh Cooley about possibly, like, stories for possible sequels to TF1? Not that it's confirmed, but, like, if he had any ideas or whatever.
Masterpiece
You heard
Hot
about that?
Rod. Sorry. That's what I was trying to say.
You want Masterpiece Cyberverse Hot Rod?
Yes, please. I would do anything for that.
Valid. You know what? I would buy it.
I want that more than anything. Anyway, yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, okay, so as you know, for those who have seen TF1, it's leading into like the Quintesson War, kind of like before the regular Great War between Autobots and Decepticons that we know more about. I hope that if we do get TF1 sequels and stuff, we incorporate some aspects of Cyberverse into those stories. Not that that's likely, but
Oh, dude, you're so right. I didn't even think of that.
because that's what I was thinking when I was watching TF1 at the end. I was like, oh my gosh, imagine they incorporate some of like the invasion stuff from Cyberverse. And dude, can you imagine if we're introduced to Hot Rod in the TF1 verse and he's like a Cyberverse inspired Hot Rod? Can you imagine?
Oh my god.
Bro, we can dream, dude. Like, oh my
I
god.
want nothing more than Hot Rod to be in TF2, you know? TF1
Dude,
too.
if
It's gonna be
Transformers
TF1 too.
12 comes out, Transformers 1, 2 comes out, then fucking, and it opens with them having a big parade, and then Hot Rod is there, and he goes, "Bumblebee, wake up!" Like I need that now.
Oh, my gosh.
god.
Dude, oh my gosh.
dude.
That'd be so sick. Oh, I can just think, imagine a story arc, because I think in TF1 they confirmed Hot Rod was one of the higher class Autobots or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a model for him as well. It's like a redo of Prowl.
Oh, unfortunate. Weird connections between Prowl and Hot Rod this episode for some reason.
Oh, you're so fucking right. That's
Yeah, that's
crazy.
weird.
Wait.
But anyway, I can imagine a story arc where, like, for Hot Rod, where he shows up and he's like, "Oh, I was in the higher class. I don't know the suffering or whatever," and he has to go into like, freaking punished Hot Rod mode. He gets like the Black Deco and he has to like save everyone and like he earns everyone's respect that way. That'd be so sick.
That would go hard.
I want more
Crazy,
Hot Rod
like,
more than anything.
crazy classism Matrix Hot Rod
makes me-
crossover art. This would be insane.
It makes me so happy knowing that I haven't watched a whole lot of Transformers yet, and being a Hot Rod fan, because that means I have so much more Hot Rod to see.
There is, but I hate to say it, man.
Nothing's gonna
This
beat
was
this.
the best.
Yeah, I
This
This
know.
probably the
was
peak.
the best Hot Rod content. He's pretty cool and other stuff. I do love. I'm the #1 glazer of Energon Rodimus, but like even with that, man, that season 3 Hot Rod is the epitome of Hot Rod. That is him at his fucking
Man.
peak.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't know if we mentioned it before, but this show, Transformers Cyberverse, is made by fans. Basically, there's a lot of fan input in the writing. You could feel
Yeah.
it. I have a feeling because I asked Travis Arts about it, right? Like, why all of a sudden did you just get so much characterization out of everywhere? And he was telling me, when they did the story for season 3, they wanted to do an arc to highlight like lesser known or more fan favorite characters. And it's like, oh, somebody's favorite character was Soundwave. Somebody thought Clobber was funny. It's like, I only had a bigger part because somebody was just a big Hot Rod fan. And they're like, what if Hot Rod was like a leader in some aspect again or whatever? So it was because of a fan that we got this awesome season 3 arc. And I'm like, it could happen again, man. One day.
Whoever those fans are, I want to give all of you a big smooch on the forehead.
Look, mark my words, man. If I end up at Hasbro, we're getting an entire 50 episode anime of The Matrix with Hot Rod. That's all I'm saying. It's gonna be crazy.
Oh my gosh, guys! I just gotta say, I'm just so happy you guys enjoyed it. I don't know that many people.
I'm glad that you got the Hot Rod's voice actor to force it down our throat.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even that. It was.
Love you, Travis.
It was. He told us about it, and he's like, it's pretty good if you skip the first season. And then Sai took us back to the Airbnb and was like, sit down, watch this. And then we watched it. We were like, this is pretty cool.
Oh man, dude. I gotta say, the voice actors that were there at TFCon, it was Travis Arts, Jeremy, is it Levi is Bumblebee, I think.
I don't remember. I literally only talked to Travis Arts, and he was super nice.
Yeah. See, now I want to meet all of them.
I want to meet.
They were all there.
I really want to go meet Travis Arts again because I didn't appreciate it the first time.
I sent him an Instagram message being like, we were talking to you. You said we should watch it, and we did, and we fucking loved it.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you for that.
Oh, also, Sophia Isabella, the voice of Windblade, was also there. And I'm thinking back, I'm like, dang, I wish we talked to all of them. Granted, you guys obviously didn't know them, but I've spoken to them before.
It would have been it would have been as I watched the show, I would have appreciated the interaction more and more. But now I'm excited to hopefully see them in the future.
Yeah, I hope I can meet Travis Arts again and be like, I watched your show, I loved your show, you were the best person ever, I love you so much.
I need a season. I want a fucking season 3 poster, and I want to get the little fucking squad. I want to get all of their voice actors' autographs on it.
Oh, dude, we need to get Chaos on that. We need to get Chaos on that.
Yeah, I forced my friend to try. I think she's had enough robot drawing for the time being.
She'll be fine. I mean, she has enough time in between now and then. At least till BotCon.
Yeah, that's fair. That's years out. I'm sure I can trick her into it by then. But
was there anybody at BotCon? I don't think there was. BotCon was just toys, wasn't it?
No, there is.
No, there were some people there. I think Bumblebee was there. Cyberverse Bumblebee was even there.
Not Hot Rod, I wasn't paying attention to it. I was just there for toys.
Yeah,
Hot Rod wasn't
just
there,
didn't notice that at all.
Was.
I noticed BotCon is set up more like a toy show, and then TFCon was set up more like like Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
for
true.
sure. Yeah, there's not really a big artist alley or anything at BotCon. It was just toys.
Yeah, there's a very small artist alley, but it was there.
Yeah, it was very tiny. It was there, but not a lot.
And it's that's the wider fandom con, But hey, I gotta say, I mean, I'm pretty sure Jeremy Levi was at the last BotCon. He could be at the next one. Be great to see him. And next TFCon, if everyone's there, Sophia Isabella, Jeremy Arts, Jeremy Levi, it'd be awesome for you guys to see them now that you've seen the show. Because I've talked to them before, and they're like, out of all the voice act. Sorry, I meant Travis Arts. What did I say?
Jeremy Arts.
I confused him with Jeremy Levi. But when I talked to them, they mentioned that they're not usually the ones that get all the "oh my gosh, I loved you," not as much as the other ones.
Yeah, well, I just think it's not as popular. I think if more people saw
they are about to get so much of that out of me.
Yeah,
no, that's awesome.
Every time I want to be I want to become friends with Travis Arts now. He will recognize me every time he sees me at a con.
Yeah, real. He needs to know us,
man.
We're the guys that he tricked into watching it. Now we see him everywhere.
It's so funny. I feel like I've kind of become that for him. I've told him I try to get my friends to watch your show all the time, and it'd be so funny next time you guys are there. They're like, bro, we were put on. This is awesome. That'd be awesome.
I think that's just what's gonna happen.
No, because for real, I'm being honest. Of all of the, it's Transformers has been very creatively bankrupt for a long time. They have just continuously pumped out G1, but slightly worse for a very long time. Or the Bay movies just got progressively bad. And I don't know. I haven't found sincere joy in something that they've put out since honestly Animated and the first couple movies. I liked Age of Extinction, but that's like a weird personal thing. But otherwise, it's just like I have been so done with it. It's all bad. And like Earthspark came out, and like I did like season 1, but then season 2 ruined it. And it's like TF1 was great because it gave me that hope again. And then Cyberverse was like okay, this franchise is not creatively bankrupt. Like that's what it felt. It was like it's such a breath of fucking fresh air in a sea of mediocrity and bullshit that has been put out for a decade at this point.
Yeah.
It's so good and it's so refreshing. And it's better than most of what we had before, not gonna lie.
Man, I wish instead of like Rid 15, we got like Cyberverse, but like, actually on a network with like more budget and stuff.
Yeah.
Like if people
Even
knew
that,
about it,
I mean,
I think it'd be awesome.
the show still did pretty awesome. I think this show is pretty awesome, and it got a lot of run. Like they did 3 seasons and like 2 movie specials. Like that's pretty good.
I was surprised. I don't know if you guys ever looked at the viewership of any of the episodes, but the 2 specials had 2 million views each.
Oh yeah, the specials did really well. Everyone really liked them,
Really?
mostly because Tarn was in it.
Tarn.
Everyone was glad when those came out. I remember distinctly. Everyone was like, "Holy shit, Tarn's in animation." I know. I went and looked at it when that happened because I just wanted to see Tarn in animation. So I
Wait,
like watched a little.
Is
clip of
Tarn
it.
not in animation, really?
No,
No, this is his
he
only
was a
appearance, I
comic.
think.
Yeah, this is his only appearance. He's a comic exclusive character
Oh,
because of how horribly awful and violent he is.
really?
Yeah, like I mean, the opening. I've probably said this to you before, but the opening of his introduction comic is it opens and there is a bot waking up with his brain ripped out of his skull, still attached to him and working, put in his mouth, and
Cool.
Tarn is giving a monologue.
You did tell me
about
about
how,
this.
yeah, about how it's shocking that that the first instinct of waking up with your brain in your mouth isn't to start chewing. That's the opening of Tarn. That's how he's introduced.
Oh man, dude! Now that you mention it, Katsu, I'm looking at like the playlist of Cyberverse on YouTube.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of these episodes have like 1 million views. A lot of them.
Do they? And at least season 3, a lot of them are in the 100,000s, like around 300,000.
Season 3 they kind of dip, but season 1 and 2, I think they're regularly getting 1.7, 1.8 million views. The first special has almost 7 million. It's kind of surprising.
Yeah, it's weird because some of these have like there be big jumps. Like you have like, episode 206 has 269K. Then you go 2 episodes later, Starscream's Children has 1.2 million. The one with Cheetor has 1.7. And then it goes back down. Then you have I Am the Allspark at 1.7 mil. And then like
I can
jump a bit. Then like Wiped Out, no one watched that episode. Then the one right after Ghost Town, 4.1 million.
I think it's because like those are episodes where like stuff happens or characters appear. Like
oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean Ghost Town is when you get fucking what's it, Flywheel?
yeah, like when I go to the first season and I look at like the one where Grimlock like shows up for real, it has like 6 million views. I'm like, okay, well that's the one where Grimlock comes in. So
Yeah, that makes
more
sense.
people probably.
Yeah,
I wish that
6.5 million
Cyberverse
views on that
season 3 had
episode.
more, though.
That's such
Season
a funny
3
episode to
deserves
have so
more.
many views.
Deserves way more freaking views.
Oh man, no one watched the one with fucking Meteor Fire. That's a shame. I like that one a lot. I like that he's fucking what's his phrase? Fuck the Australian guy that died via the Stingray. He's the robot.
The freaking
Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin. Yeah, is Meteor Fire is just Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
Like
It was
and it's
really
awesome.
funny, but like they're searching
I
for
love that one.
aliens. Actually, I think it was less of Steve Irwin and more of Bear Grylls.
I don't know. On the wiki it even says that he was inspired by him.
Oh,
Like,
okay,
that was
okay.
the thing that was one of the writers said that.
He
Like,
reminded me more of Bear Grylls with the way he was like, and here we see we have an alien life form. That's like a very Bear
Yeah.
Grylls type thing.
I don't know the Australian accent, just like I don't know. He's just whatever. He's that kind of archetype.
No,
He's
I
just funny. like him a lot.
initially thought Steve Irwin, and then I was like, Bear Grylls feels more fitting here.
Do you guys know what episode besides like the final 2 of season 3 has the most views?
Are you
Besides the
asking? Are you
No,
telling?
guys. No, I'm saying besides the finale, all the season 3 episodes have like the lowest views, except for Wild Wheel. The Wild West episode has
Yeah.
1.4 million views. But like
Yeah, it's weird.
the ones surrounding are like 500, 300,000. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's so
That's
weird.
that's the one
The
people want.
second to last episode of season 3 has 2.7 mil for some reason.
Has more than the actual finale. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, then the actual final episode only has 1.7. Like a million people dipped out. Like they watched
Dang,
second to
dude.
last.
Maybe they just didn't want to see it end. They're like, no, I can't see the
I
ending. It'd be
guess.
too much.
I guess, man. I don't know.
I don't know, man. After they got out of the whole Quintesson arc and everything, I was just like so not here for it. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like that whole little part of putting Windblade back together,
Oh,
I was like, you know, it's charming and kind of cool, but I'm like,
I loved it because they were redoing G1 ideas in really cool ways. Like I loved Crystal City's spin. The Dweller being a fucking Titan was wicked. Like I like that part a lot. But that's because it was like I was enjoying the G1 reference, so like you
I
didn't
think
have to.
yeah,
that's
I guess that would have been different. They might have been going towards the fans on those ones, and since I'm not a hardcore
Yeah,
fan yet,
Crystal City is a bit from G1, and it's like Omega Supreme defends it, and then the Constructicons blow it up, and then the Dweller is like this like ancient like weird worm creature thing, and they fight in season 3, and like Cup kills it or something. And so hit that being spun into a Titan, I thought was really cool.
I think
they
I
do
think
a
the
good job with
Windblade.
the Titans this season or in this episode.
The Titans are fucking wicked, dude. Iaconus is so sick.
Yeah.
I want toy of
Oh,
him
the one
so
Hot
bad.
Rod wakes up.
Yeah, like the one
Yeah,
that's like that, the one that Macadam is like, it's under
Housden.
Macadam's or whatever. Yeah.
I think the Windblade fragment memory arc or whatever. Uh, season 3, I think they knew was the last one, right? So they're like, okay, we got this epic story in the beginning, the first half, and like we know it's the last one, but maybe they just wanted to fit like some, like you said, homages, smaller stakes stuff for the characters before, like we finish it off with the peace treaty in like the last 2 episodes or whatever.
Yeah.
So I can kind of get that, but it is kind of like a definite lowering of like uh just action and stakes or
Well,
whatever
yeah,
compared to
because you
what was
just
before
saw
it.
the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
So no matter what came after, it wasn't going to be as good.
It's hard to
Right.
wind down. You know what kind of
Like to me, the Quintesson takeover arc in Cyberverse is like, it's like the Unicron battles of Armada to me, where it's like, I mean, I like the rest of Armada, but like, what am I fucking here for? I'm here for that ending arc where it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's it felt a lot like that to me, where it's like the stakes are high, shit's changing, the characters are popping off, like it's just so good.
Yeah.
it kind
So
of reminds
that
me
was
of
some peak fucking Transformers.
it reminds me of okay, this is a slight tangent, but it reminds me of like in a comic I like, One Piece. There are like the most popular, biggest arcs everyone loves. The ones right after it, nobody likes as much, like at all.
Yeah,
Like
it makes sense.
it's like there are two big arcs in that series that like the ones following directly after, everybody's like, I'm gonna dip out for a little while because going down in the quality, it's like it's too much. Maybe there's a little bit of that in Cyberverse season 3, but
I just need to
Possibly.
throw at you. I like that you were like, yeah, this little comic I like. It's called One Piece.
Yeah.
Like,
I was gonna mention
like
that.
you worded that like no one's ever heard of it. Like it isn't one of the biggest pieces of media on the planet.
I didn't want to get into too much detail because I might accidentally just talk about that for too long.
I know, but it's
But-
just your way of being like, yeah, it's just little underweighted manga. I like. You might not have heard of it. It's called One Piece.
Yeah. No, but
It's like me being like, yeah, I like this really underrated anime. You might not have heard. It's called Pokemon.
there's there's an arc in that series called Water 7 that everybody is like, oh, that's the best one. The one right after it, it's called Thriller Bark. Everyone's like, oh, that's the worst one. It's like, it's weird how the best and worst ones are one after another. And like, it's not true. It's just everyone is like so hyped up on the one before it. They're like, oh,
Right.
well, this is a
Makes
step down.
sense.
And
That makes sense.
Yeah, that
So-
might be exactly what I felt, you know.
so
Yeah, because I think it was still quality.
Oh
So,
no,
yeah,
it was
I-
absolutely still quality. It just wasn't like I just wasn't here for it. You know, I was just like, okay, where I just want to watch the specials and be done, but I'm not going to skip these episodes because they're probably important to the specials.
I think what kind of gave me warm feelings is I think one of their goals was really to make Windblade like cool and important to like a new audience or whatever. And I feel like she had slowly gone down in relevance as the show went on. So bringing her back, well, ironic because she's like, not complete. They got to put her together, but they're bringing it back. How she's important, I appreciate it before the show
Yeah,
ended.
I agree.
I think something else that we just gotta, we have to mention, is our fucking hero Soundwave. Um, I like what a well done death. I think
Oh my
Oh
god,
shit
man,
was crazy.
I was not expecting. It was unseen
Yeah.
for me, at least. I just like wasn't
I
expecting
there's
it at
no way
all.
you could have anticipated that.
I unfortunately had seen an edit years ago, so I knew it happened.
Oh,
Oh,
Um,
that's the
so I knew he was
worst.
gonna go down at some point, but nevertheless, it didn't take away any because I didn't mean anything when I saw it like in an edit, but like watching through the show and growing attached to him because like he is like I think he's one of the best like characters in that show. Like it's
Absolutely.
him and
and
Hot
Hot
Rod. Like
Rod.
truth be
Yeah.
told, it's like this Cyberverse is a show of Hot Rod and Soundwave is kind of what it feels like.
oh man,
At least like the best parts of it, but.
it's
Nah, his death was so good. It's been a long time since Transformers, like a death has actually made me feel something, and I did feel something watching Soundwave.
Yeah.
never in a
sacrifice himself.
million years. Like, could you have told me that the ultimate sacrifice, right, like to defeat the bad guy, would have been Soundwave? Because like maybe if you said it was Starscream because like they did that in Armada, like
Yeah.
oh maybe that could happen, but like that they did a Soundwave all of a sudden, I'm like oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's because usually Soundwave's the final boss before the final boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I
he's
can't.
the big blue fuck you have to kill to get to Megatron.
I
Like
Yeah.
can't wait till they make a show where Shockwave makes it the ultimate sacrifice or whatever.
it's gonna be crazy.
Is the next one on?
No,
Oh
it's
man,
like
yeah.
it was just like that. The way that it ended, I watched Soundwave just blow himself up. I was like, oh no, that's not good. And then
That
Oh
shit was
wait,
crazy. I mean,
you watched that just
that's
this morning,
that.
right? Just this morning.
I did, yeah.
I watched it last night.
But
Fresh in your
so
mind.
yeah, it's fresh in my mind. I watched that and I was like, okay, what's the catch? Like the smoke's gonna clear and all of his he's either gonna be fine or his parts are gonna be there, and they'll like try to put him back together or something. No, he was just gone. He just
Like that was crazy. Like he hit a blast so powerful that he like disintegrated himself.
Yeah.
Like that was insane. Like bro hit the sound wave.
he hit the
Like,
sound wave of all time. It was just crazy
Amazing.
because it's like both of those characters that I've always grouped Soundwave and Shockwave together, as kind of similar beings. I guess I don't know if you guys have done the same.
Kinda.
That depends on the series, I guess.
I guess to me, like when I think of Shockwave, my thing is I do first think of Shock Blast. So to me, I have like insane psychopath, and then like the cool guy that's Soundwave. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's my defaults.
Oh, and new headcanon, like frickin' Soundwave loves dubstep. That's just, I agree.
Yeah, you ruined Soundwave. Thanks. No, him being so good though, something I'm glad about. I don't know if you remember this, but years ago, when we were in Florida, right, and like we met up with you,
Yeah.
I bought a Cyberverse Soundwave when I was with you guys.
Oh my gosh, that would have been right around that time, wouldn't it have been?
Yeah, I bought a Cyberverse Soundwave just because I thought he looked pretty cool.
It was at the
And then he's been in a drawer, and I've never been more happy about a purchase that I made that long ago. Because
Oh,
now I have
man.
a Cyberverse Soundwave. I'm like,
Was
yippee!
was it just this morning, Katsu, that you sent that clip of like Hot Rod joking about Soundwave, like right after his death?
He was
Yeah.
like, and Windblade, remember when he captured you and then made you listen to that really crappy dubstep compilation? And I'm like, no, I'm a big dubstep fan. I like a lot of
Oh, man.
electronic music, if that adds anything to the conversation.
Katsu. So, like, I want to be like, Hot Rod and Soundwave are just like you and me for real. But then, like, Soundwave likes dubstep, so then I have to be Hot Rod, and that's fine.
It is fucked
Dang.
up.
It's
It is fucked up.
it's so
Because we all
crazy that
know
this-
I want to be Hot Rod and you want to be Soundwave, but it
Yeah,
has to be
exactly.
the other way around.
Fucked up, dude. It's fucked up.
It's crazy that like this show makes me think of the pairing of Hot Rod and Soundwave that doesn't exist in like any other Transformers media. So it's like I'll have them next to each other. I'm like, oh, this is awesome, but it like makes no sense in any other context.
Yeah.
That's so real. Dude, that's so fucking real, though. Like, just like, I imagine just like two unrelated versions of them on a desk as figures, and you being like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like that's so real.
It makes no sense.
Remember when we were in Baltimore, not Baltimore, at BotCon, and I was asking Shay if he could draw me something, and I was like, could you draw me something with like Soundwave and Hot Rod? And he's like, usually those guys aren't drawn together, so that would be kind of a cool concept.
Holy crap.
Bro has not
really
watched
funny.
this show.
Bro has not watched that show, that's for sure.
Bro does
He's
not
like,
know the
that's
sauce.
the homies ever right there. Like,
Man, I wish Hot Rod was more in the special, the last special, to really drive that home. This
He was.
Sacrifice.
I think he was in it. I
Well, I meant
enough.
more is what I meant.
he rallied the boys, and I think that was important.
I think he did what he needed to in that episode. I truly think that's one of like.
Dude,
No, I wouldn't call it perfect, but it's up there.
God, by the way, I don't know how how much you care about the time, but I just want to bring this up. We've talked for almost an hour and a half about Cyberverse, and not once have we talked about Bumblebee. We've glazed Hot Rod to who knows where.
Oh, well, Bumblebee's fine. I don't really care
He's
that much.
fine.
Like,
He's just
he's
fine,
all right.
yeah.
Like
This
I
is
think he's pretty cool.
probably-
I mean, it's one of his better versions.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
But,
he's cool. He can.
I
he can
actually
talk,
like him.
and
That's a
rid of
big
that.
coming from me.
They get rid of that stupid ass fucking radio shit.
I just feel bad because sometimes the show is billed as Bumblebee Adventures or whatever. That's
Yeah,
what the
it's
toyline
just
is.
I noticed the
Dude,
entire
it's so
third
funny.
season. The entire third season, they changed it to Bumblebee's Cyberverse Adventures or something,
Which-
and you're like,
He's
Yeah.
the
you're
least,
like,
he's the
why?
least active
Not-
season.
It's
His-
just he's not there for any of it. Like,
his least active season, he gets the title credit.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like
it
make
should
that.
it should be fucking Hot Rod Cyberverse Adventures.
Yeah. I
No,
don't
I just-
understand. I don't understand why they didn't do that for the first season or something, or why they even changed
Yeah.
it. Like they changed it for no reason.
I'm pretty sure it's because Bumblebee, he's a more popular character, so if you're gonna rebrand it, put him on there.
They were trying to. I know there was some weird marketing reason for it. I don't remember it though.
Stupid. I hate marketing.
But
For the fans, not for the market.
I just think it's funny that he's in all the billing for this show, and we've talked about Hot Rod more than anyone else.
Yeah, he's goated. Like,
Oh yeah,
he's the guy.
yeah. Once
That's
again,
Cyberverse's main character. Travis, we love you. All right.
We
Travis
really do.
Lawrence. Dude, I can't
We
wait
do.
when we see him next. We're gonna tell him, "Hey, dude, we did a podcast episode, and we just glazed you the entire time."
If he
yeah.
responds to my DM, I'm gonna just send him it. Like,
You-
I feel like
yeah.
we glazed your character for like an hour and a half. You should watch this.
If you,
That's awesome.
and it'll probably be the highest quality episode we upload to.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
you know
suck
damn
on
well
that,
Dynamez.
Dynamez.
You know damn well Dynamez is not going to listen this far to this episode. Like,
He might.
I don't think he
Dynamez,
would-
if you listen this far, comment.
Does he even
Yeah,
care about the show
comment.
at all?
No, he does. He loves it.
he cares about the show, but I don't feel like he listens to it like before he uploads it sometimes.
I mean, it's like an hour and of just own time. I don't know. I'm gonna skim.
Well,
but, like,
yeah. I don't know.
But also, we didn't do any big flubs this time. I have my one, and that's it. You know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true, yeah. Everything's been pretty smooth, I will say.
Smooth sailing. No. There's one more thing I wanted to talk about. I can't think of it.
Oh shoot, was it a character? Was it an
I have a
arc?
really stupid one I want to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So there is a seeker, a background seeker. Mostly we see him flying, who is primary color black, secondary color green. It's not Acid Storm, but he's black and green. And his color layout is exactly the same as my third grade OC seeker called Skyscream. So
Skyscream.
he's in the show by my headcanon now. That is all. Like, deep cut right there.
What's what is he called?
What?
That
The
seeker.
seeker?
Yeah.
No idea.
Skyscream.
He's Skyscream, yeah.
He's just Skyscream.
I don't know. He's a background in the show. He's just a background seeker that does nothing. Like, he gets blown up 3 times. That's about it.
I loved the arc where the Seekers just disappeared. Like,
Yeah, there was kind of gone.
I really enjoyed that arc.
You
Too.
know, and the Slowstream's losing her fucking
Uh-huh.
mind trying to find him.
I will say it was funny that the Seekers were basically just dumb drones in this whole show.
Yeah, kind of blockheads for real.
Besides Slipstream, who was cool.
Yeah, except for her. She's the only one that locked in.
Strangely, Slipstream best version of her in anything ever. I think she dies.
Yeah, she is in fact a playable character model in War for Cybertron, and that is it. So I think this one definitely takes it. I don't know, kind of running unopposed.
Wait,
but like,
is that all she's in?
Basically, she's like a background person in a lot of stuff, but I don't think she has really any major roles at all besides this.
Famously, Slipstream is a joke in Transformers Animated.
Oh yeah, that too.
But in I believe in some canceled season 4 animated plans, she would have been in charge of the Seekers as like a rogue unit or whatever in that show.
Yeah,
but that never happened.
Besides being a silly joke, and then again just relegated to background.
Okay, so Convoy. I just went to TF Wiki to see if I could find if they ever named that Seeker. They didn't. He's just one of the generics. So
Let's fucking go.
Dude,
there's nothing
got a
stopping
name now.
him.
It's my 3rd grade Seeker that I
It's your
draw
third
on a
Seeker.
piece of paper.
that I dwatted on a piece of
I
paper.
draw on a piece of
Oh, wait,
paper
hold on.
and Aquas a
Wait.
bunch, and he was really cool. He was actually just as skilled as Starscream, but he was on Cybertron with Shockwave the whole time.
Oh wait, this is good because like you had a
Lord.
random inconsequential character that you liked. I liked Red 5, who showed up in.
Yeah, we both had a random inconsequential idiot that we liked. Okay, Katsu, do you have any background guys you like?
I don't really remember any of them. I'm trying to think. There's this one gray
insert
bot.
blop sound effect. I'm not gonna do that. But
I just
No, you do it.
There
I
was
just had
one.
Red 5's wiki article, by the way, if you want to know
Okay.
which one it was. Anyway, what were you saying?
There was one gray like Decepticon that kept showing up that I kept seeing, and I was like, is that Megatron? No, I like backed up the video and paused it both times. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not Megatron.
I like the one in the Velocitron episode that's just like Wheeljack, but he's
brown.
a suicide bomber with rust.
Okay.
Like, that's all he is. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, there weren't any like background characters that I was like, oh my god, I love this character or anything. It was just like, I just enjoyed the show.
Yeah, no, I think both of ours. I mean, like, Size is like just because like, why do you even like him?
I like him because it's weird. Like, you've seen that episode, right? He's just randomly with all the named characters. He only
it's
exists
just
for a
that.
5-second joke, and they act like he's one of the gang, and then he gets blown up, and then never speaks
Okay,
again.
so that's kind of So like, then mine is just like the Seeker looks like my 3rd grade character I came up with. Like, so I think that's kind of valid that you don't have one. I don't know why anyone would, truth be told, but
Yeah.
Dang, what was that? What was the subject you were thinking of that you don't remember, Katsu?
Oh, dude, it's gone now.
Dang,
It's
that
so
sucks.
gone.
That sucks, man.
I keep
we have been
talking.
here for an hour and a half. Do we have any closing?
I don't know, man.
remarks,
Let's
probably?
make it
I think
2 hours.
we've kind of got there.
Let's
You know,
make
we
it.
kind of.
Let's make it 2
I
hours.
don't think we have much
We don't-
more.
we
I mean,
don't-
we kind of covered it all.
We don't have
What is it? Okay.
Dynamez to cut us off this time, so let's just keep
That
going,
is
man.
true.
Actually,
That is true.
All I'll say is,
No,
is
no,
there
no
any
Dynamez to go? Kill yourself.
is there anything now that you've seen the show that you wish they did? I wish they did a Shattered Glass arc of some kind. I think that would have been sick.
That would have been really cool with all the multiverse
Yeah.
shit. They
I don't know why they didn't.
needed
I don't know how they didn't.
to bring up some sort of Shattered Glass
Truth be
variant.
told, I think it would have been really cool if instead of Megatron X, it was a Shattered Glass Optimus.
That would have been so cool.
Because like it would make sense, like because he had the Matrix, right?
Mhm.
So it'd be like and then so it would be a really fucking cool twist, I think, if it was that. Yeah, it does kill the perfect Decepticon concept, I guess, but like
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know, I think that would have been wicked.
Oh
though.
maybe.
But then we would have had no Tarn.
Or maybe
Yeah.
actually wait. I know a way you could have done the Megatron X plot, kept it the same. What if it was Shattered Glass Rodimus, like with like the mustache? Because then he could have had the Matrix, but also been evil and stuff.
I need to read the comics.
Well, that's the same thing with Optimus. It's just they would end up being they just end up being perfect Autobots instead of Decepticons. We need Decepticons.
Have you ever seen Shattered Glass Rodimus, Katsu?
No, I haven't, but this sounds awesome.
He has a he has a mustache.
I'm gonna look this up right now. Hang on.
I just
Oh,
sent
did you already send a picture?
Yeah, just dropped the
Yeah.
bro does have a mustache.
Bro's got the mustache of all time.
There's a better one.
It's based off the classics mold.
I need
it's
him.
It's
yeah, it's only like $700.
I need one.
There's like a Power of the Primes one, isn't there?
Yeah, that mold is.
Oh, Travis had one. Travis had that one. Remember? He had it.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah. He has a mustache. It's a reference.
Like $30.
His mustache is a reference to the classic Star Trek episode Mirror Mirror, for which the concept of shattered glass is all of a reference to, where Spock.
Yeah.
Spock in the evil universe has a mustache. So, of course, Rodimus has a mustache.
Yeah, I've known that one a long time. I think that's really cool. I like that episode of Star Trek a lot.
Yeah, I say that, but I guess like even that episode was inspired by Through the Looking Glass, which is the Alice in Wonderland story. So if I had to go back, I guess that's really what it's all about.
Kinda. I don't know.
But
like,
yeah, I don't know.
Cool thing though.
Missed opportunity. I think a Cyberverse Shattered Glass story would have been sick.
I think they should revamp Cyberverse and bring it back because it's the only good thing they've made in recent history, show wise.
It's kind of back in China.
Yeah, so I was about to say it's back in China.
What?
It's weird, but it's back.
What does that even mean? What do you even mean by that? Let me elaborate, please.
So there's a Transformers show in China that is not even about. It's not like a Cyberverse show. They just use the Cyberverse character models.
Oh.
And it's actually about a human who turns into a transformer that's inspired by a Chinese mythological figure that has wheels. It's a wheel god, you see, so they turn to a transformer, you see. And they team up with the Autobots.
What is it called?
Oh my gosh, what is it called? Transformers China show. Am I going to get what I want? Oh, Transformers Neza. That's what it's called.
Interesting.
I'm going to send you a picture of it. Yeah, so Neza is the god of wheels, so I guess that's the connection they're going for. I'm going to send you a image of the show. They literally just use the Cyberverse character models.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and they release the Cyberverse toys as part of the toy line, and of course the new toy is Neza themselves, who is the wheel god. So, yeah.
It's like in the same box art too. Like the box art is the same.
I'm looking at the animation. It uses so many of the same assets, like the same like shuttles. Optimus and Megatron look the same. It's actually kind of better animated though.
It's better animated than the actual Cyberverse, which is the craziest part.
I remember what I was gonna say. Mechanum. I saw.
I love Mechanum.
Okay, so Mechanum. First of all, they do a really cool job with Mechanum. You know, this was my first experience with the old oil house being a real thing.
And
did
you even know what that was?
Well, I had been told, but it was all just headcanon at that point. I had no idea what it actually was, besides just an Energon joint. And I mean, that's kind of what it is, but I didn't realize that. Well, at least I don't know if Mechanum is the same way in every version, but at least in this version of Mechanum, you know, he transforms into whatever he turns into.
The thing.
The thing. And
Bro turns into the entity.
Yeah, he does. I don't know what it is, but whatever he turns into is massive.
and horrifying. Clearly horrifying.
Apparently it is the scariest thing that will end all beings type thing.
And Bro is secretly Alchemist Prime, which is wild.
And so I saw the toy for him because he's one of those figures that if you have to like buy every version, or not every version, but every Cyberverse Deluxe figure to get each piece of Mechanum, and then you can get the whole Mechanum figure itself.
Okay, so are you calling him Mechanum?
Yeah.
It's Mac Adam.
It's Macadam.
Mechanum?
Mac Adam.
Mac Adam.
Yeah, Mac Adam.
Macadam.
Macadam. Interesting. Okay, I thought it was Mechanum.
No. Mac Adam. Yeah.
Interesting.
Macadam.
Interesting. Okay.
But sorry, what were we saying?
Thank you for the correction, because I had no clue I was saying it wrong there. My own podcast of saying it wrong. Anyway, so the whole thing where you build his figure, and I looked at his figure afterwards, and I'm like, he kind of looks like the Ark, you know, like with his chest plate. I was wondering if maybe he turned into the Ark So I figured like maybe after they come back and they get on the Ark and they come back to Cybertron, he would just transform into the little guy again. From being this huge,
that's a wild theory.
Like after being this huge ship, he just would be like, "All right, guys, hey, how's it going?" You know.
That's so interesting because wait, I'm sorry. You
like look at a picture of him and then look at a picture of the Cyberverse Ark.
Hold up, Katsu. You haven't gone that far into Transformers animated, right?
I haven't watched any of, or I've watched a little bit of animated actually.
Okay, never mind. I was gonna say something, but it would have been a spoiler to that show. But it's a very funny theory to have. That's pretty sick. That would have been kind of cool. Like they get back to Cybertron and like it just turns into Mac Adam. Would they have known in your headcanon, in your theory? Would they know that the Ark was Mac Adam?
No, maybe. I don't know. I truly don't know. I feel like they would have known, or they wouldn't have known. Actually, is what I meant to say. I feel like they wouldn't have known that that it was him, because otherwise they would have tried to. Wait, no, they were looking for. That was the whole thing. They were looking for the Ark. But I feel like after they got to the Ark, they would have been like, Mac Adam, we need to get him not in Ark mode, you know? But, you know, in my head, I'm like, well, he turns into this big thing, whatever he turns into, and the front of him, at least on the toy, looks like the Ark.
So
that's really interesting because I would have never thought that in a million years.
But that does sound interesting.
That's fascinating, though.
Yeah,
like he's the only one that can mass shift or something. Like that's kind of cool.
But it's here. You can put this in the video convoy. I'll put that in there, and then I'll find a picture of the Ark.
I can kind of see what you mean, like the yellow and the windows on his chest, kind of like the bridge of the Ark. You mean?
Yeah.
Now
that's kind of what I see.
Now there is one tidbit I want to say about Mac Adam. Now that you brought it up, is in the actual show, did they actually say straight up that he's Alchemist Prime?
Yes, it's in the final bit when he's in the Matrix.
Yeah, when he's in the Matrix. Optimus. But like the front end of Mac Adam and the Ark toy.
No, I see it, dude. I see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Like,
I guess. Yeah, that's just.
It's a weird little theory that I came up with, and I was like, that would be kind of crazy.
You know a theory I had about Mac Adam? You know, before they said he was Alchemist Prime. So I don't know if you're familiar with this character. Maybe you are, Convoy. Are you familiar with Rung from the IDW comics?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I if I'm going to say this theory that I had, it would kind of spoil the IDW comics. I don't know if you want me to do that, Katsu.
I don't think I'll be reading any of the comics anytime soon. I think I'm going to stick with the shows for now. I'm reading the Evangelion comics, so I got a while.
Okay, then I'll just say this. So this is the character Rung, who this character's face is kind of like inspired in Cyberverse Mac Adam. And quick lore about Rung is that Rung is actually Primus. It turns out this is Primus. He forgot it, and he lived as a normal Cybertronian until now. And it turns out that he was Primus. He just didn't know it, right? So because Mac Adam, his face looked like Rung, I thought that they would reveal that Mac Adam was just Primus himself. Like Primus just took the form of Mac Adam. Yeah,
I can see that.
That makes sense.
I thought that's where they were going, especially because he had like those future sight powers, and he was wise, and he had that impossible transformation. I'm like, okay, well, this could be Primus in physical form on the planet.
You know, the future thing, if anything, honestly would like, especially he doesn't look like him, would actually just take me in the direction of Vector Prime. But he doesn't look anything like Vector Prime.
Yeah, it was the fact that he looked kind of like Rung that made me think of that.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
I thought that he was just going to be straight up Primus, but I do get that he was Alchemist Prime. I think in like older comics, they had that joke where he was Alchemist Prime, so I think it makes sense what they did, but the fact that he looked like Rung messed me up for so long because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just Primus. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
It would have been a neat subversion, because there is even a line where Bumblebee's like, I heard that he could be, one of the original primes or something, and then like everyone
Oh
like
yeah,
writes
way
it
in the
off.
beginning, yeah.
So it's like that could have been interesting if it was like that was a red herring, and it was like he's actually Primus. Like,
Yeah, but I gotta say, yeah, Mag was cool. I think it's the first show where he's like an actual character.
yeah, he's never been in animation before. He's been a logo on a sign and animated, and that's about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's where the opening line from the podcast comes from, is animated. Ratchet goes, McAdam's old oil house.
I'm replacing that one today, though. It's going to be we have a different opening. It's going to be crazy.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
I'm
what
excited.
were you saying?
I'm excited to hear what you cook up.
It's going to be it's the secret special after dark opening. So it's
right,
got to be
right.
like, it's got to be crazy.
What if this episode ends up being like the most high quality, high production one of them all?
It just is.
Look. I love Dynamez, right?
We all do.
Guy. If you're listening right now, hey buddy,
comment again.
At the comment again. At the end of the day, though, I am definitely better at editing than he is. I'm not trying to throw shade at him, but I am 100% better at editing than he is. So this is probably going to be one of the nicest looking ones.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of editing, I have been on my editing arc recently, so check out my Instagram and my TikTok for some Evangelion edits. I'm 100% gonna be making a Cyberverse edit, probably a Hot Rod.
Collab.
You want to do a collab on that one?
Yeah, I think we should collab on that one.
Okay.
I was wanting to do one also.
Okay.
I saw that.
I think that would be cool.
I saw that you made a Megatron edit. I was like, oh my gosh, he's even making edits of Cyberverse.
Well, I'm like I was making like an opening. I made like a teaser.
You made a teaser trailer for like a 30-second edit.
I made a teaser trailer for an edit.
Like,
well,
I made a teaser for a 30-second edit. Are you kidding me? Like,
But yeah, I'm gonna glaze the shit out of that Megatron design. It looks so cool.
It's
oh my gosh, wait, guys, look at this. So I went to the TF wiki to like look at MacAdam. Look at this freaking screenshot they have. For those at home, it says the Virgin Rung versus the Chad MacAdam.
Pretty silly.
That's epic.
That's really funny.
I'm sorry.
I want to
really
know what
funny.
he turns into so badly.
Yeah, I'm sure it's awful. I just want to say this. This thought came to me. You were saying you want an MP Cyberverse Hot Rod?
Yeah.
Dude, I want MP Cyberverse Megatron Season 3 post-multiverse travel design. I want that. I want that as big and detailed as I can possibly get. Like, 3-0 MDL, like, at DLX scale.
They're going to run out of stuff eventually to make Masterpiece.
Eventually they will. Eventually.
And they will have to make something.
Here's the problem with that, though, man. Right. They are yet to get out of they haven't finished 1986's run in Masterpiece, right? There was at one point a consideration of doing Masterpiece Super Convoy from Armada. There was a consideration for that. It didn't happen. They considered it. And that was the first alternate timeline they even considered. Which is the one that came out in, 2002. So, so I think when we're about 90, we'll probably get what we want.
I'll be kicking until it exists. I don't care what it takes.
Someone's gonna hand me. They're gonna go, Grandpappy, they made it. They made the Cyberverse Season 3 Megatron Masterpiece. He's gonna hand it to me. I'm gonna go, Takara really did it. Shame Takara fucking sucks, and then disintegrate. Like, that's what's gonna happen.
And then you're gonna be dead.
I'm gonna go, I'm gone. Like, it's gonna be it.
No, I'm like over here on God. If I don't get my Masterpiece Cyberverse Hot Rod, both versions.
If not painted in black, I will kill.
Both versions of it. If I don't get both versions of it before I die, I want my grandkids or my grandkids' grandkids to fucking put that shit on my grave and leave it there.
They need to purchase it, dig me up, and then shove it in my decayed rib cage.
Yes.
So I can absorb it into the afterlife.
So I have it. I'm gonna be like in the afterlife, and just this is gonna spawn in my hand. I'm gonna be like, oh my god,
yes. Fuck yeah! My great grandson came through for me. Let's go.
Me and Convoy are gonna be ghosts, like doing the Midwest crawl, like.
Dude, I'm haunting the Midwest crawl. For those that don't live in the Midwest crawl is when you have nothing to do, which is always because you live in the Midwest, and so you go to Target and Walmart, and then whatever other like big chain. Like we have Meijer, so we go to Walmart, Target, and Meijer, and if we're feeling really crazy,
Whole Foods,
we might even go to the other Target and Meijer. No, they have to have a toy section, otherwise you're not really.
And if you're feeling extra crazy, we might end up at Disc Replay.
That's true. We might go look at used games that we don't want.
We still have a radio
Maybe
shack.
even GameStop if we're feeling bold.
Yeah, which sucks to suck for us, but they just took away the only good GameStop around us, and I'm so sad.
They did. It's tragic. They just blew it up like it's gone. I showed up and I was like, no.
We still have a Radio Shack over here.
That's crazy.
You could add that.
Oh my gosh.
That's wild.
We got some Best Buys. We used to have.
Your Midwest crawl is so much better than ours. You just have to
yours is
go
a
to
little-
the
you have a
city
bit better
and be
plan.
like,
I think my
what are we
city's
gonna do
slightly
today?
bigger. My city's slightly bigger, yeah.
You got
I
a
mean,
much bigger city than us.
we have to like you have a bigger city and it's closer. Like Detroit is vast and has cool stuff in it, but it's also far.
And also not a great place to just walk around.
We're we're shooting for like 20-minute range driving,
Yeah.
Dang, dude, oh my gosh. I'm just looking at, this is the best hot rod figure they have, is this deluxe. This is the best they have.
What
it's
is that?
Tragic that's the best they have, but I do want one.
He comes with flame effects, I guess. It's pretty cool.
That looks
I think
so
what I'm
sad.
going to do, I want to get all the Cyberverse Deluxes, and what I think I might do is I might take the time to go in. I'm gonna try to panel line them like I would a Gundam.
I agree.
Maybe
is-
pick out some extra details.
We
I think
should do that. We should do that one build day.
That'd be fun.
We
It's funny you
should
say that.
find a build day and do that.
So this is somebody's customized deluxe
Yeah,
Deluxe
like
hot
that looks
rod
way better.
from
That looks
Reddit.
way better. I'll put that one on screen.
It's funny because like that version of Hot Rod, the first one that you sent, Sai, it looks so ass. But then the one that Convoy sent earlier of the Prowl version of it looks so cool.
The Prowl one looks really sick. I really like that go on it. I love I'm building out a police mecha shelf, so I think I'm gonna get that and put it on there.
Yeah.
I think police mechs are cool.
I will 100% be enjoying myself a nice little deluxe hot rod though.
Yeah, no, that needs to get copped.
No, yeah, this a nice custom Cyberverse hot rod would be pretty sick.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think with that one, with him specifically, little plug here for one of our good friends, Cryptid Customs, who I think he sometimes tunes into these. Bro makes some crazy shit.
I'm pretty sure he's our only concurrent, our only
think
other
so, yeah,
concurrent viewer.
Yeah,
Besides Sai, who has listened to this episode live.
But no, so Cryptid makes some sick ass shit.
Yeah.
He made
this. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I say, well, I'm thinking, with my money and his skills, perhaps a very nice looking black hot rod could be created.
Yeah,
that's all I'm thinking.
Well, another thing is I like I have previously stated, I'm a big Ava fan, and hence the name Katsu. I don't know if anybody's picked up on that one, but yeah, you can put it together if you know. But he made a what was the Optimus figure that he used, Convoy?
Power of the Primes.
The
Power of the
Power of the
Primes.
Primes.
And he painted it like the MP10 Evangelion edition of Optimus, but then he made the Orion packs on the inside of it Shinji.
Yeah.
And it is so cool, and I love it, and I need him to make me one.
It's one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen. Actually, as a custom idea, that's just so fire.
Yeah,
He let me hold the
so
one that he
cool.
brought. He let me hold the one that he brought to Baltimore. There's a lot of paint. It's caked on there, not in a bad way, but I can feel that he painted the whole thing. It's wild.
Everything about it has been touched. Basically, there's not a part that hasn't been touched. It's really cool.
Although the one he let me hold, he's like, this one, it's kind of chipping away, so be careful.
Yeah, he was like, this was my first try at it, but my other tries have been better. It's just so cool.
Oh shoot! What the heck? This guy also customized his deluxe Cyberverse hot rod. It's pretty sweet.
That looks awesome. Yeah. What?
Yeah, I'll put that also on the screen.
This is supposed to be it. So the description this guy put on Reddit is supposed to be a Cyberverse Rodimus Prime. So this is Cyberverse Rodimus Prime, which I wish we saw, but this is a pretty cool possible rendition of it.
That's interesting.
That is so good looking. That looks awesome. I think this adds the detail that it was missing.
Yeah, the figure is not that bad, but
the figure looks fine. It just needs more detail. Yeah.
Yeah, it just needs some paint work. It needs some shit to break it up.
Yeah, because I had no idea that there was even that little indent where on the repaint it's like chrome on his chest or on his like ab.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was even there. It just looks like a solid piece of plastic, but with a little bit of detail, like it looks good.
Yeah, it's just completely red. Oh man! Small thing I want to shout out. I really like that Cyberverse Hot Rod has his toy legs. It's just very sick.
Yeah, he's got the toy style legs. I do like that.
Instead of his big gray boots.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
But regardless, we're about to hit the 2-hour mark. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going to bring this one to an end.
This might be the longest episode. No, it is the longest episode, and it will be the best.
Production value. It's going to be crazy. Check us out on social media. Watch Katsu's edit, katsu.21. How you find them.
2 U's.
Pretty cool. 2 U's at the end of Katsu. Sai, do you have anything to plug?
Not really. I don't make content or anything.
This is the little guy. Support him in your hearts.
And we will still put Handley's and Dynamiz's @s in the description, so you guys can also check them out.
I wouldn't take his word for it. But
hey, I will put them in there. Don't worry, I'll put them in there.
All I'll say is thanks for.
We'll get them in there. But
all I'll say is thanks for having me. I guess for my debut appearance on the not even official podcast episode.
This is official. This is official. This is
official.
Beyond official. This is the Old Oil House After Dark, the Cyberverse Secret Special.
You're insane. Like,
I'm the side character that exists only in the spin-off material.
Yeah. You're only in the comics, like.
Yeah, bro's a comic only character.
I'm like
he was only in the OVA. You don't get it.
Yeah. He's our Tarn.
Yeah, I'm like the Tarn of the series. I'm the Windblade. I'm the Leo. What's the guy? Leo Prime or whatever? Leo Breaker? I don't know.
Leo Breaker? Who are you talking about?
The guy from Victory that like Jinrai's
old Victory body. Leo?
Is it Victory Leo? I'm like Victory Leo. It's the only appearance is this thing right here.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. Actually, no. If anything, you kind of remind me of Hound in Cyberverse. You're just mentioned a lot, and then like he's mentioned and died.
There's gonna be episode of the main podcast.
This will be the last time you see Sai. Sorry.
Yeah, there's gonna be an episode of the main podcast where we just offhandedly mentioned that I died.
Yeah. It's like, today's episode is dedicated to Sai. Bro is a real one. He went out like a beast, though.
We are now down to one concurrent viewer.
But yeah, thanks for having me. It's been great.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming on, man.
Otherwise, check me out on fucking YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, false_convoy. This has been the Old Oil House After Dark Cyberverse Secret Special. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Goodbye.